Hey guys, so I am in bed today. I have the minimum amount of makeup that I could push myself to put on for you. And I thought that because this is my second channel, I would come on today and just do a very impromptu, laid back life update video and kind of talk about how just everything going on in the world has affected me and how I'm coping with it, sharing any amount of tips that I can give you. I've been hesitant to talk about my own struggles during this time because I am very aware that there are people who have it much worse than me. But then I was thinking, if you think about it, everyone can find someone who has it worse than them at this time, right? So if anything, I feel like I've actually gotten value out of watching other YouTubers talk about how they're coping with things right now and how they've been affected, because one of the things that has really depressed me is feeling like I'm kind of going through all of this, and I know everyone in the world is going through it, but at the same time it feels like the world is still going on and other people are still making content and being happy and like posting on their stories funny memes, and I just can't bring myself to do that a lot of the time. You know, in all honesty, I've fallen into a depression that is definitely, I don't want to say it's the worst I've ever felt, but it's really up there, bitch. Like I've been really going through it. My mind was in a complete hole for like 4 or 5 days straight that I'm finally coming out of now, but it was so bad that I'm not going to say that I won't even go there. But my mind got to a place that was very dark. And I think it's just the cabin fever, of course. It's the lack of social interaction. It's the worrying about my friends and family. It's worrying about the status of the world. And just like, so it's just this feeling of overwhelm that I know we're all feeling. I am not special for feeling it. I'm just trying to relate to all of you guys. That's all that is. You know, I'm looking at other YouTubers who are kind of uploading all the same content they used to upload, still posting funny memes, funny TikToks, and I'm doing a little bit of that now too, just trying to push through. But at the same time, it makes me feel a little bit like, am I weird for feeling this depressed? Am I weird for feeling this anxious? Am I weird for feeling this overwhelmed? And so by making this video, I'm hoping that I can sort of make you guys feel a little more at ease, that like, don't think I am just going through life like it's golden, because I'm really going through it too. You guys know I was setting up a tour right before all this hit, and I lost more money with all of this than I thought. Let's put it this way. A couple years ago, I didn't even think it was possible for me to make the amount of money that I lost in one fell swoop from this tour not being able to go through. And so that's been really devastating. You know, I was supposed to be getting married at this time, and then the world said, haha, you thought, not happening. So that's been a big source of distress too. And it really broke me for a while, I'm gonna be honest. And I still am. But I'm coming, like I said, on the other end of that pit in my mind. And again, it's not for anyone to feel pity. I think it's just we're all able to vent, right? I'm just venting. That's all. Another aspect of this is that you guys know I've been very open about my issues surrounding eating that I made a video about, again, right before all of this hit. And because I did that video with Trish, and because our dynamic is definitely more fun and bubbly and like dark comedy, I feel like because of that, I was never able to properly convey like how distressing that problem has been for me over the past year. And it has really, I thought making that video was going to help me, and it did for like a week, and then all this hit, and then it all got spiked all over. I think the combination of not being able to exercise with there only being junk food left in the grocery store, it has made me hyper aware of what I'm eating, hyper aware of the fact that it's a struggle for me to burn it. And that has also led to a lot of like just body issues and turmoil. You know, I can only imagine what people who have that problem even worse than me are going through right now, because one of the things that is the biggest struggle about having issues around eating is that it consumes your mind 24/7. Even when you have things to take your mind off of it, like leaving the house or seeing friends or going shopping or doing whatever, like just being out in the world. So now that you can't, it's like eating and my calorie intake versus outtake is so just all consuming and overwhelming. And you know, that's just another aspect of, I think there's so many specific little things that we all struggle with, and they're just all being amplified right now. And so I just want you guys to, there are a lot of people who are constantly posting on social media that this is their time to thrive, right? Like that they're going extra hard and they're working out extra hard, which I don't even know how you're doing that. Like I know in LA, the trails are all closed, the gyms are all closed, even the gym in my building. Like, so unless you have an at-home gym or something, like I don't know how you're working out. But, you know, I think there's a lot of pressure right now to stepping into overdrive. And I feel like that's very positive if you can do that. I'm not talking about just fitness and health. I'm talking about like working and like, which is a blessing if you can even work right now. You know, fitness and just like stuff that, it's a lot of pressure right now, right? A lot of people are saying you got to be better coming out of this than you came into it. And while I think that that's positive and it can help a lot of people, I think that it also has the possibility of really making people feel even worse and stressed out. I know it has had that effect on me, to be honest. You know, I consider myself a very strong person, but even I've always struggled in my life with this feeling of being behind, of feeling like I'm not doing enough at any given time, even when I'm working at my full capacity. And so now when I'm living in this, you know, situation where the world is stopping me from going full capacity, you know, it's out of my hands, I'm struggling with that inferiority complex even worse. So I just want you to know that if you feel like people on social media are saying like, you gotta be productive, you gotta hit it harder, just know that it's okay if you're not getting everything and anything done and picking up a new trade and doing all this stuff, because the world's just not a place for that right now. It just really isn't for a lot of people. And if it is for you, that's great. If it's not, that's okay too. So I wanted to share with you guys some things that I wrote down that have been little tips and tricks that have helped me sort of ward off the depression that I'm feeling, because I know a lot of us are feeling it. So the first thing is video games. Video games have been highly therapeutic for me. If you're not really into game, I'm sure you can remember one game from your childhood that you were into. Maybe you only had that one game you were into as a kid, you know, that N64 game or something. Look for a ROM online and download it and pick up an old game. It has a really nice nostalgic feeling and it definitely takes your mind off of everything happening. The next thing I put is movie series. So it's great to have a bunch of individual movies lined up you want to watch, but one thing I've really struggled with is the aspect of not having anything to look forward to. Right? I think a lot of people are feeling that right now. So for me, having a series of 4 or 5 movies, you know, like the Lord of the Rings trilogy or Harry Potter or, you know, any set of movies, you finish one and you look forward to the second one. So that's part, for me, that is part of securing my mental health, is always having something to look forward to. I've always been like that. And now, who knows what we can look forward to, but we can look forward to movies. The next one is putting yourself together. So that means, for me, it means putting on a little bit of mascara. It means putting in my hair extensions, things that just make you feel normal, dare I say it, pretty, dare I say it, attractive, because one of the things that really affected me when I was in the 4 or 5 day slump was I was laying in bed looking crazy, and I felt the worst I've ever felt, and then I'd look in the mirror and I'd feel even worse because I was like, well, what is happening to you? Like, you're letting yourself go, and obviously certain aspects of letting ourselves go we can't help, right? Like, no one can get their roots done right now, no one can go to the gym, no one can spray tan, but you can do little things. Like, for me, I wake up in the morning and I'm not going anywhere, but I put on mascara because mascara does make me feel prettier, and it just is a tiny sense of normalcy that I feel like helps. Next one I put is walks around the block. Obviously you cannot go to public trails, at least in California, which has really devastated me because I used to hike Runyon Canyon all the time, but walks around the block I feel like are safe. They don't have to last a long time. Take your dog still need exercise. Yeah. So next one I have is calling friends and family. So you guys know I've been open about my struggles of like familial acceptance. Like, my dad's side of the family disowned me. I'm not really close with a lot of people on my mom's side. And then, to be even more honest, my relationship with my mom has been very turbulent over the past few years. I've never talked about this, but we had gone months without talking before all of this hit. And when everything really started to get kind of bad, and, you know, the lockdowns were in place and scary stats were coming out every day, we called each other and we reconnected. And I cannot tell you, like, that really, it helped. So reconnecting with people that you maybe were, you know, in a funk with when things were normal, or too busy for when things were normal, I think that can really help. But with all that being said, you guys, I hope that this video shatters any illusion that I'm just flying high and things are super normal for me, because they're not. But I love you guys, and all we can do is continue to push through the best we can. Don't beat yourself up if you're not doing it perfectly, or you're not living this amazing productive life right now, because trust me, I don't feel like I am. And we'll see the end of this. Eventually we'll see the end of this, and just know that we are living through just historically, like, crazy times. Like, this is unprecedented. We've never gone through this as a culture, as a country, as a world. And you know, someday we're gonna have really crazy stories to tell our grandkids, right? I love you guys. Make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel as well as my main channel. Follow me on social media and definitely leave a comment. I'd love to just like talk with you guys and just convene with you guys and just see how everyone's doing. You know, I recognize a lot of usernames that I consistently post on both my channels. Like, some of you guys I do consider my friends and family because you just always have been there since the beginning and you still comment and I see it. Even if I can't always reply, I see it. And I will see you in the next video.